Hello, this is Brian Southworth. Welcome to the video on parallel and perpendicular lines. First thing we'll look at is parallel lines. Two parallel lines, a lot of times you'll hear people say that two parallel lines do not cross or they're equal distance apart. Well, if you're not crossing, that means when you draw them, if these were to cross, instead of being parallel, they're either going deep like this or it'd be just a slight turn, they'll go into themselves. So these here are parallel because they're going in the same direction. So parallel lines go in the same direction. Now, in mathematics, when we talk about directions, we mean slope. So parallel lines have the same slope. That means this is line 1, this is line 2. Slope for line 1, which is M1, should equal slope line 2, which is M2. So they're going in exactly the same direction. All right, let's try an example of this. So let's find the equation of a line. Parallel to line 3x plus 2y equals 3y minus 7. That passes through the point 3 minus 2. We'll leave our answer in slope-intercept form. So first thing, is this thing here really a line? Remember, if it's really a line, the highest power on any of your variables is always going to be 1. So I got 3x to the 1 power, 2y to the 1 power, and 3y to the 1 power. So it is a line. It's not in standard form, slope-intercept form, or point-slope form, but it is a line. Now we want to find the slope of this equation, so I can make a new line that is parallel to it. So in order to do that, well, which form is best for us? Well, slope-intercept, standard form, ax plus by equals c, right? Here's standard form. Usually for standard form, we just start there, we're going to end there, so that's not really great for us. There is point-slope form. Point-slope form is very important. We use that to find equations of lines. But if I just want slope, it's best to put the line into, okay, so this form here, y equals mx plus b is slope-intercept form. Is good for graphing lines and then identifying the slope and the y-intercept. So this is our slope. So all we need to do is take our equation, 3x plus 2y equals 3y minus 7, and solve it for y. So 3x plus 2y equals 3y minus 7. Well, let's go ahead and subtract 3x to get at least y on the one side by itself. So 2y equals minus 3x minus 3y, sorry, plus 3y minus 7. Now on the right, for y equals mx plus b, y is on one side, everything else on the other. So this last y needs to move, the 3y needs to go to the other side. So minus 3y minus y equals minus 3x minus 7. I want just y, so we're going to divide by minus 1. Positive 3x plus 7. So this is my line. This is the line we're given. This is the line that tells me what the slope is going to be. So my slope here is, so we'll call it the slope 1 if you like. It's going to be 3. If we're parallel to it, then it's also going to be m2, which should also be 3. So what do I have? I have m2 equals 3, and my new line is going to pass through this point, 3 minus 2. Again, I mentioned a minute ago, find equation lines, you usually use the point slope, so we're going to use y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. So that's going to be m, and then the point is going to be x1, y1. So we're just going to plug everything in. The normal y here and the normal x, so these two values here, this y here and this x over here, since they don't have any subscripts on them, they're going to stay the same. They're not going to change. So y minus y1, so y minus and minus 2 equals 3 times x minus x1, which is 3, or y plus 2 equals 3x minus 3. This is the equation of a line. This is the equation of a line in the point slope form. Now remember, way back at the beginning, we said find the equation of a line that has all the stuff that, and leave your answer in slope-intercept form. So we just solve it, this thing down here for y. So 3x minus 9. Solving for y, get move the 2. Y equals 3x minus 11. There we are. So that's how you can find equation of a line that is parallel to another line. Another type of problem you could get would be are the lines x minus 5y equals 2 and 5x minus y equal to parallel? Well, all we got to do is put them to slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, and compare their slopes. So this first one, move the x, minus 5y equals minus x plus 2. Get y by itself, so divide by 5, sorry, minus 5. Y equals positive 1/5 x minus 2/5. So my slope here is 1/5. over here, solving for y, minus 5x minus 5x. Minus x minus y equals minus 5x plus 2. Get y by itself, so divide by minus 1. Y equals 5x minus 2. So my slope of this one is 5. M of 1/5 and 5 are not the same. So lines are not parallel. All right. Let's talk perpendicular lines. So perpendicular lines, they have two things going on. They intersect, so the two lines are crossing, and when they cross, the angle they make between the two lines is 90 degrees, so right angle. All right, so let's see if we can draw a picture of this. So here's line 1. Now, again, lines are made up of slopes, rise over, run. So that means, look at this, here's some triangle. Slope for M1, well, first thing, it's going up and to the right, which means it's a positive slope, so it'll be plus. And it's rise over run. So my rise is A. This is my run. So it's going to be A over B. That's my slope for A1. Now, I want to draw a line that's perpendicular to this. So I mean that I need to make it square. So I'll do my best. Here's line 2. All right. Now, if I drew it correctly, which I didn't do, I did okay, I didn't do a great job. If I do it correctly, the B side has switched over to be right here. The A side has switched over to be up here. And what's happened? That means for M2, the rise is B, and the run is A. The last thing we make note of is that line 2 has a negative slope because it's going down and to the right. So I got to stick a minus there. So these are two slopes from line 1 and line 2. How are they the same or how are they different? They're literally just reciprocals of each other. One's positive and one is negative. So let's say this. perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. So again, opposite means you're going to switch the plus minus. Reciprocal means you're going to flip the fraction. All right. A little more mathy about it is, a lot of times you'll hear us say in mathematics, if you multiply two slopes together, so m1 times m2, if they're perpendicular, their product is -1. So if you look at this, a times b times minus b over a. Well, that's minus ab divided by ab, which is just -1. So if you're perpendicular, m1 times m2 equals -1. And negative reciprocals, I'll come back to that one real quick, would mean that if I have m, then m2 would equal -1 over m1. So just take it, you flip it over and switch the sign. All right. Let's find the equation of a line. Perpendicular to the line, 6y plus 2x equals 1. That passes through. -4 minus 12. And relieve the answer. Slope-intercept form. So step one, we need this guy's slope. So what I find for parallel or perpendicular, I need the slope of that line. So I'm going to solve it for y. So I have y equals mx plus b. So 6y plus 2x equals 1. Minus 6y. Oh, I want y by itself, so I should move the x. So minus 2x. 6y equals minus 2x plus 1. Divided by 6. Y equals minus 2 over 6 reduces to 1 over 3 because I have a common factor of 2. So a slope here, slope line 1, if you want to call it that, is minus 1/3. Slope of line 2, right, line 2 is perpendicular to line 1. So M2, I take the opposite sign, so this is minus, it becomes plus. 1/3 flips over to be 3 over 1, or just M equals 3. So now we have M2 equals positive 3 and we passed the line 4 minus 12. We use the point slope form. Again, it's my slope, and this is my point, x1, y1. So y minus y1, which is minus 12, equals 3x minus x1. The minus and minus here and here both make plus. That technically is equation of line. But again, we want slope intercept form, so I'm going to solve for y. Subtract 12 on both sides. Y equals 3x. Technically right here this is plus 0. You don't have to put plus 0, you can just say y equals 3x. And it should be understood that the y-intercept is 0, 0 now. All right. So last example. Are the lines perpendicular? Let's do y equals 5x plus 4 and y equals minus 1/5. So both these lines are in slope intercept form, so all we need to do is identify our slope. So the first line has a slope of 5. The second line has a slope of minus 1/5. Well, there's two ways of doing it. So you just look at it and say, well, they're opposite, are they opposite reciprocals? Opposite means one's plus and one minus, right? This is plus 5, that's a minus 1/5. Got the opposite part. Are they reciprocals? Reciprocal of 5 over 1 should be 1 over 5. So the answer is yes, these two lines are perpendicular. Or if you want something a little more algebraic, right? More algebraic, you can say, if you recall, M1 times M2 equals minus 1 implies lines are perpendicular. So you could just say M1, M2, that's going to be positive 5 times minus 1 over 5, or minus 5 over 5, which leads us to these perpendicular lines. Okay, that's the end of this lecture. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.